Today's recipe is about image optimization, so now we're really getting into the good stuff. Image optimization is very important for search and especially for photographers because so much of your website is based around photos. So Google is a machine. It doesn't have eyes like you and I, so it can't see an image, and it's looking for other types of clues to figure out what an image is about. And what the images are about is what the pages are about, and it's matching those against what somebody types into search engines. So images are important. The first step in optimizing an image is to compress it as much as possible so that your pages load fast. Google doesn't want to rank a page that a user is going to have to wait a long time to see. So when you upload a photo to your website, make sure to crop it to the exact size that it's going to display. So my images are 740 pixels wide, so when I create them in Photoshop, they're 740 pixels wide. Otherwise, what will happen is you've got this high-res photo, and if you go to post that to your website, that is going to be 1.6 megabytes for that photo. That's far too large. So if I change this image to 740 pixels wide, now when I save it for the web, we're down to 88 let's see, at 100% quality, that's 295 kilobytes. So that's order of magnitude level of savings you get by sizing it correctly. It also will appear more crisp on the site if you upload it at the same size it displays. The next thing you can do is when you save for web is reduce the quality. So if I look at these two side by side, there's very little photo difference when you're looking at this on the web. And I've taken a very big file and cut that down considerably. Now I'm at about 70K in size. So you want to do that to get your photos down to the smallest possible without compromising their quality. Google's looking for images that are about 30K large, which is very hard for like a portrait photo to get to. So anywhere under 100K is going to be much better than something that's high res, at least for Google that is. This kind of shows you the quick instruction of how to do it. The next thing you want to do is save the image with a keyword-rich file name. So when I save my image to my desktop, I don't want it to be called something like 123.jpg, because every image on the web is going to have a URL associated with it, and Google can look at that file name and figure out what the image is. For example, fashionable woman red plaid jacket, and then the little date stamp here. We know what that image looks like before we even see it. That's this one. So Google can tell a lot about the photo just by looking at the file name. The next most important thing, and this is actually the most important of all the things related to images, is to add alternate text. Alternate text is usually a field in your website system attached to the image. So here in WordPress, if I click to edit the image, I'll see a field for alternate text. So the alternate text should describe the image naturally. So here I'm writing what the image says so that Google can read it even though it can't see that image. I could have also described this as purple flower with leaves, template, and an inspirational quote. But it's going to be a direct statement describing the photo just like you would describe it to somebody over the phone. Because really you're trying to paint a picture to Google of what this image looks like. You don't really have to worry too much about stuffing keywords or city names. It's going to get that stuff from the rest of your page, especially your page title. So the goal of alternate text is to describe the image for a machine. The next thing you can do is add text near the image. Here's a good example of text near an image. We've got an intro paragraph, and then some text after the first image, after the second image, after the third image. So you want to separate your images with text in between. And Google knows that this text likely describes what's happening in these images. So you'll pick up words like zip line, backyard, boys, shot. All of those things help describe really the intricacies of the types of things you're photographing, and gives Google a ton of information, not only about the images, but the pages as well. You don't have to use the caption field in WordPress like this, because sometimes that will put an ugly box around it, but essentially you are writing captions. So captions for every image on your page can be a big help to Google understanding what your images are about. A well-optimized page has text after every image. Now, if you're using a site like Flickr, SmugMug, or some stock photo site, then there might be a field for keyword tags, and this can help get your image found. So for example, here's an image on Flickr, and we see some of the keyword tags: Earth Day, ocean, sea, environment. You only need a handful of these. They don't need to be stuffed with keywords. Really, they're just quick words to describe the image. If you're using a blog system, keyword tags are irrelevant. Again, this is only for image indexing sites like Flickr or those types of sites that are holding their repositories for a large number of images. You want to repeat all those steps for up to about 20 images on the page. Any more than that starts to slow down the page and have kind of a bad user experience. So in this one, this is a typical blog post. We've got about 10 or so images, and that's good. You could even have up to 20. So make sure all 20 of those images have good alternate text near the image, strong file names, and are compressed for the web. Another thing you can do is, if you're going to give an image to another site to use, instead of sending them an attachment for that image, give them the URL for your image. So here's an example where if somebody asks me for my headshot, I'll simply ask them to reference this URL. There it is. So I'll just send this URL to them and say, embed this in your page, which shows Google that lots of other sites on the internet are embedding photos from my site. So that helps the image rank. It also helps the popularity of my website, since those are considered links. You don't want to do slideshows, plugins, or have multiple images smashed together into like a collage, because when you do that, you lose the opportunity to add a file name for each of those, or a alternate text or a caption for each image. Essentially, with plugins and collages, you have multiple images together and you can only give it one caption and one file name, when really you might have 10 images that are about a lot of different things. And you want Google to understand all those things by breaking the images apart. Now, the last thing is that it's not going to help you too much to go back to all of your old images from all of your old pages and posts. So I would simply focus on proper image optimization for your future pages, because it'll take more than just cleaning up an image to make you rank well. It's all of the recipes that we're going to talk about, but images are one part of that. And so if you can do that as a part of your regular workflow moving forward, then that's going to help you significantly.